All right. Hey, listen. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Geoff. Oh, man, where our mission is to to step into being epic, right? Encouraging. Oh, man, listen. Praising, inspiring, and complimenting our audiences and the audience of our guests, bringing guests in from all over the world, from all different backgrounds that have one thing in common. Oh, man, they're willing to share with the lessons learned and the experiences earned in their life and in the battle of the comeback, man, and give you, the listener, tools that you can use right now to elevate yourself to the next level or get yourself out of some stinking thinking, or you're stuck right in that comeback and it's just kicking your butt. Oh, man, just give you a place to come and get recharged and reset, right? Because listen, I believe this to be true. Hear me when I say this. Listen, the gift that we have between our ears, that's 6 inches, or mine case, 8 inches between our ears, is magical. And it also can be a hindrance. Yeah, I'm talking about flipping that switch on your stinking thinking. You know, that conversation you're having with yourself about yourself. Right? What is it doing for you? I mean, it's either lifting you up or holding you back. It's either encouraging you or setting limitations. You know, we want to disrupt that. That's right. You know, like Uber did to the transportation industry, or Airbnb did the hospitality industry, right? Hit that switch, man, and you see what's happened when you have some disruption in your life. So become more aware of your stinking thinking and understand. Listen to what my man has to say coming up in the show. He's going to give you some things to help you understand the power of it and the hypnotic rhythm that we may be stuck in. Listening to that conversation, following that conversation, losing control of what we really want to do in our lives, right? Anyway, oh man, so listen, if you're tired of being on autopilot, like I'm talking about, right, and building someone else's dream, while yours is dying in the dark, this episode is yours, right? It's an invitation. Oh boy, it's an invitation to pivot and profit from the information that we're going to share with you today. And for those of you that don't know, my name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King and host of Conversations with Geoff International. And I believe what I'm talking about is one of the number one things that anybody can put in place right now. Eliminating excuses about I don't have the education, eliminating excuses about I don't have the money. Whatever those limiting beliefs are that we put on ourselves to lock us in, man, if we pay attention to our stinking thinking, oh boy, especially when life twists us. And you're going to hear from our guests, right? Then what do we do? Then how do we see ourselves? Then how do we talk to ourselves? We're going to find out today, right? Because we got some cool things. We're going to go from corporate crashes to coaching cash flow and how Stinkin Thinkin, how some strategies around that he's used in his growth. And I was talking to him beforehand, man, and just a great guy. He's an author. He's part of a book collab that's got some powerful authors in it called The Change. You know, he's in the top 10 speakers to watch in 2025. Right? I mean, he's got a podcast that's killing it, and he's went from picking up change in the parking lot to impacting over 15 million lives in social media. There's so many other things I can tell you about this gentleman, but here's the thing. I want you to challenge him, right? If you got questions that you think about as he's speaking, make sure you drop them in the comment section so we can get a chance, if at all possible, to answer those questions for you. And get ready, baby. I mean, this brother is the real deal. He's a father. You know, he's created opportunities for businesses to shift and scale. And he's a coach, one-on-one coaching and group coaching. So if you're looking for someone after you're done with this conversation, make sure you reach out to him. With no further ado, let me get to this conversation. Next conversation with Geoff, my new friend, Greg Mester. All right.
Hey, Geoff, thanks. That was a heck of an intro. I'm going to live up to that one.
Hey, your life experiences make it easy, man. I'm just reading what I see, baby. So thank you for being here, man. And welcome to Conversations with Geoff. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, you know, I like to just kind of get right into it, man. And you know, you and I were talking before the show about some things. And when we talk about we see you now and you've got all these accomplishments. I always like the people to kind of see the other side. And we were talking, Greg, around, I think it's even in the description of our meeting, right? Walking through parking lots and picking up change and then from there transitioning to doing some tremendous things. But what can just talk about, because there's a lot crazy going on in the world right now. People are losing their job. Yeah. Things are happening, right? And so how can your experience help those that maybe where you were then? How can your experience help them?
Well, I can help a lot of things, but it depends where you are. I mean, I remember I got to college. I wasn't the A student. I wasn't the valedictorian of my class, right? But I made it in and survived and graduated. And when I graduated, the job market tanked. You know, I worked in machine shops for a couple years and sold wine at a winery down the street on the river. Me and my buddies were going down the river one day. I would tell about this story. And we were just inner tubing. We're like, oh, winery. We're all 21. So we're all, for samples. Next thing I know, they're offering me a job,
Wow.
Okay. So I ended up doing, that year after college, I worked 3 jobs, close to 4, 5 different W-2s,
Yeah.
just finding a way. And then later on, a friend of mine got me a job working for the government. Went through a couple rifts there, layoffs. I always hear everyone talk about layoffs. Oh my God, the world comes in. So I lived it during the 90s.
Yeah.
It was, they were laying off government employees left and right.
Right.
When I hear people cry about it, I was like, it happens. It's a cycle. It's always going to happen. And you got to help yourself. One thing I did when I was doing that was I always improving myself. I didn't wait for other people to offer me a chance to improve myself.
Yeah.
When I'm working in a machine shop, I'm reading what they call an AutoCAD book, like how to write CNC programming.
Right.
Because I knew CNC and that what in the shops was that. I had one guy, why are you always reading a book during lunch? Because I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Simple as that. And I'm like, I want to make another $5 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever the next stage is. And if I did this my entire life, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And even though I was in a union, still got laid off. The guy said, we're our union shop. I want to keep you, but seniority, you're like the newest hire. I already made you go through 3 rifts. I got to get rid of you because they're gonna all freak out.
Yeah.
That's fine, man. That's good. I'll find my way. And then later on, I had started my business just before 9/11. Actually, I started about a year or so before, a year and a half, whatever, 1999. And when 9/11 hit, it just totally decimated my business. I quit my government job, my cushy government job, doing that, and then I had to start all over again. So during that process, I had a little part-time job, worked in UPS, climbed in the bottom of the airplanes. It was all fascinating because it was all part. I knew I was in logistics, and I'm like, well, there's nothing better to learn than crawl around the belly aircraft watching UPS moving that stuff around at 1 o'clock in the morning, from application. I did it.
Yeah.
You come down, okay, let me figure out the ground game. So when I go back up there, I know the ground game. Right?
That's right.
Help those people grow in their career where they want to go. And at some point I had the job to pay the mortgage barely. And during lunchtime I'd walk around, like you saying, I'd walk around the movie. We had a movie theater before they closed it down with COVID. We'll walk around there and find change, $5, $6, $10, or whatever would I be when we had change in our pockets, right?
Yeah. Crypto now, baby.
It's all crypto, virtual and Apple Pay. I can't find Apple Pay on the ground, but I would go buy my, get enough money to buy lunch for a week, and that was that. And then later on, a friend of mine who I helped while I was in the Navy and working with the Navy department, and says, I have a customer in California. Can you help me with the customer, get the money out? I said, sure.
Yeah.
So I went out there. Next thing you know, I'm sending millions of dollars back to his company, his business, working with his customer. And just, And I had one of his higher level above him say one time, "You're bringing how much money? We never brought that much money in." I said, "Well, I'm just getting you business. You said you wanted business. I'm getting you business." You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I had to tell him though, I says, "You have to be careful what you ask for because you got to
Mm,
work for it."
that's
And
it.
this is one of the things I told people when I worked in this. It was one of the big 5 defense contractors,
Mm.
probably 2, number 2. But I said, "You have to be careful. I'll get you money, but you have to work for it." And he's like, "Hold off, Greg." Yeah, well, let me think about it before you keep getting us more money, and because I'm like, yeah, I'll get you the business. And then after that, went and did my own thing, looking for jobs. Right, I had to
Hmm.
change because we were in California, came back to Philadelphia here, where I am now,
Hmm.
and kind of started over a little bit. I wasn't sure if we are going to move back to California,
All right.
so I wanted to do more IT stuff because IT in Silicon Valley, that's where I was, it's the
Yeah, that just
thing.
makes sense, man. That goes hand in hand. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I just transitioned over. I took a pay cut, right?
Hmm.
But then I went back up and to the point where I doubled my income in less than a couple of years. I go
Right.
from where they were offering a basic salary coming in, contract job,
Yep.
worked a bunch of contract job, different companies. And every time I did it, I would go from 1 team to 2 teams to 10 teams to a whole division to a
Yeah.
whole enterprise,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So until now, and while we were there, I had one guy. This is one of the stories in the book, the Change book here that I did,
Mhm.
which you can get a free copy if you join my mailing list. Um, but the guy said to me, let's just say it was a retirement company that most people have all their money invested in, right?
Got you.
So and
Got
and 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 they said I was looking for someone with more of a reputation because I was going to be their agile coach for their organization.
you. Hmm.
And he's like, I need more of a rep. I'm like, rep, really? So I created 5 a.m. Mester Scrum.
Yes.
And I started building my rep with LinkedIn and 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Ended up with 14 million views with
Hmm.
my show, my program. Got over 20 for people in the IT world business. It's there, like a 1,200 episodes in there,
Nice.
and became a top 4 in podcasts for agile coaching.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
have 17,000 connections in LinkedIn.
Right.
So it was like a challenge to me. Well, you're not known. I'm still
Yeah.
not known. It's got a long ways to go, but you know
Right.
what? It's fun, the journey, meeting people like you.
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah.
if I didn't do it, I would never met you.
That's right.
And other people that I met. Every once in a while I go to a conference and they go, 5 a.m. Scrum. It's funny when they say that to me. I just laugh, get a
That's
little
nice.
embarrassed, but you know what? It's cool.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's nice to be recognized, man. I mean, you're making a difference in changing people's lives. And I wanted to say something you said
Yeah,
when you were back in the warehouse or wherever you were working,
yeah.
and something came and I wrote it down. You will always be too much for people who are not doing enough. Like that person that was saying, "Why are you reading that book?" You were talking about
Yeah.
doing up and being better with yourself and those types of things. That was a nugget that you kind of slid in there. I want to make sure they heard that, right? And so, thank you.
And you're gonna get that. I heard that all through my career,
Yeah.
everywhere, every stage I've been at. Right.
Yep.
I even when I worked for the government, they offered which I don't understand why people don't take advantage of it. Reimbursement for college.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I used the help pay for my master's degree.
Right. Why
I
not?
had one person come up to me one day. What makes you think you deserve? Seriously, what makes you think you deserve or earn that money to pay for your
Woo.
college? I'm like, dude, it's a benefit.
Yeah.
I don't. When I was with the government, we got my bonus check was $250 for the year. So I'm like,
Mm.
this is like $3,000. This is $5,000 in a year of bonus check money.
Yeah.
I get to keep it. And this is
Yeah.
the part which I don't understand, and I try to coach people this.
Mm.
It's your education and knowledge is yours forever. No one can ever take that away from you,
Never. Never.
right?
Never. Yeah.
You think, why
That's
do I
right.
go to college? Why do I want to get a cert? Because you got it.
Right. That's right.
And I always try to also say, it's like, don't depend on your company you work for to take care of you. And a lot of people I learned when I used to teach classes and stuff, and I'd go around and teach people get their certifications. As I always remind them, don't use your corporate email account.
Right.
Always use your personal account so you own it.
You own that. That's
Because
right.
you have no control. Like I said,
That's
I
right.
went through rifts. I got laid off before. I
Yeah.
got laid off a
Yeah.
few times.
Yeah.
You never know. And it's not their control. It's not a personal thing. It's a business thing.
That's a smart business decision because you own it. You own that
Yeah.
information, and they can't take
Yeah.
that away from you. But people don't listen, and just like that person that said, "Why are you doing it?" They didn't even put the connecting the dots. They're so worried about what you're doing versus, taking some responsibilities and doing some things on their own, man. So I love that you were able to talk about that and help people out because that's going on today. I mean, we're talking about with AI coming in and all the
Yeah.
potential job losses happening and people are racing around. Some folks are like you. They're like, okay, how can I take this and spin it to make it work for me? And the others are, why me, the victim, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so how do we help the victim? I mean, some can't be helped. I mean, that's just the way it is. But when you have that situation, what do you do to help that person go from that victim to warrior?
I really help them get victories in their own, the small victories and small wins, whether it be like I started my program, my 67-day challenge, 5 a.m., where we just pick a couple things that you want to change your life, good habits. And let's
Mm.
make that a little victory. Say, hey, if I can conquer this bad habit I have, I can do anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
And from a business standpoint, just trying things where AI is coming. I saw something the other day. IBM laid off 100, 700, 100,000 people getting laid off in the IT industry because of AI. And I'm like, well, do you have a subscription to ChatGPT? Do you have a subscription to something? Gronk is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Microsoft has a free one. Zoom has an AI
Yeah.
functionality.
Yeah.
I find it funny. And if you don't and you don't start playing with it, then whose fault is that, right? So
Yeah.
just play with it, try something, go out and do it. I'm not the best looking guy on the planet Earth, though I would love to be. I went to Banana. I was like, God, those guys are all beefcakes. I would love to be 20 again and be a good. But it's like,
Yeah.
you can do it and just go out there and meet people. Someone has your experience.
Right.
Like I said, my company fell apart, brought it back up again,
Yeah.
been through all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I see where you can use technology to help you out, right? And I try to get people experience. When I coach people,
Mm.
we do it together. Like if
Yeah.
I'm doing Agile stuff,
Yeah.
we rerun the Agile, the Scrum stuff.
Yeah.
When I coach people in business, I work with them. We actually work on the business.
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
okay, let's do a social media post for your company, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We do it on Zoom together and we do it, right? We
Right.
use
Right.
AI. I have them run it. I
Right.
coach them. I
Right.
don't do it for them,
Right.
but I show them how easy it is. And once they figure it out, well, I can do this. Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Confidence, man. You immerse them in the responsibilities and the task. Immersion is just a powerful thing. It shows up in language and everything else. You live somewhere in a foreign country and you're in it and you can't speak anything but that language. You're going to learn the language. And so it's really, I love the fact that you are like you did. Listen, we were working on something yesterday and unrelated to anything that I could help you with, but you helped me and doing that same example. So you live what you say. And I love that, man. And I like the fact that small victories, when you say that, what do they say that small hinges swing big doors? My coach says that all the time, I'm like, wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, one of my coaches, I got Dan Martell. I signed up for it. They want to get to the next level, and that's going to be the title of my next book. By the way, I'm
like
doing a
that.
new book called The Next Level, and it's about all different levels, what you do to get to the next level of your career, your business, everything.
No.
And I have different things, and one of them is Dan Martell, who I joined. He has a group thing. And what's interesting, he said something about reading 10 pages a day. And at first you're like, what's 10 pages a day? Why 10 pages? And I turned it into a habit for myself. So
Yeah.
every day I read 10 pages a day.
Yeah.
And if I did all the books, I mean, I must have read 6 or 7 books since the beginning of the year.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
I can ask, how many books have you read? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had this conversation with a kid that was junior high going to high school. I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it. I said, here, think about this, 10 pages a day. Let's say you're sports and they were both getting scholarships. One was a football scholarship, one was a basketball scholarship, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're in junior high, they're going into high school, so they're not on the varsity team yet. I said, listen to this. Let's say you read 10 pages a day. That comes out to be about 14 and a half books about that size per year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's say you picked sports mentors.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
whatever football, basketball mentors you had, you know, people that really were successful in your sport. And you read, think of them as now mentors. Between now and when you become the varsity team, you could have read 30 books from 30 different mentors. Do you think anybody else who's going to be on the varsity team had 30 different high-profile mentors in their lives?
Yeah.
And it's all 10 pages a day.
Yeah.
And you highlight it and you practice something that you read in the book.
Yeah.
Like when I do it, I highlight everything in the book that has ideas.
Yeah.
And then I apply it.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, I said, this doesn't cost you any money.
Man.
But I guarantee you, and I said, do you think anybody else on the varsity team is reading 10 pages a day? Do you think anyone else read from 30 different mentors like you could between now and when you're trying out for the varsity team?
Man.
They're like, their eyes just went big.
You talk about the unfair advantage there, brother.
Yeah, I gave them that little bit of advantage that they need.
Yeah.
And learning how to practice, you know, I make I started my kid. He's at the tee. He's only 12.
Okay.
Every morning when he wakes up, I set up a little thing. I live in the city, don't have a big yard. It's 10 feet by 10 feet.
Gotcha.
Got him a little, spent $60 on a net that kicks the balls.
Yeah. Nice.
He's on the tee. He's doing 100 tee shots every morning.
Whack. Yeah, I love that.
12.
Yeah.
Because I challenged him. I did say to him, look, he said, you want to be on the travel team. It costs money. I said, if you don't really want to be it, I can sign you up for the local team for $100. You know, but you have to decide what you want to do. But if you're not going to go for it, I'm not paying the money for the travel team.
That's right. You know,
so he made that decision. He goes out every day now. He's like, I want to go to the batting cage. I want to do this. I want to get a coach. Now, here's the thing. As an adult, I got a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Asked me, Dad, can you sign me up with the coaching program at so-and-so?
Yeah.
Can you get me time? He met a nice kid that was in high school, Gabe, over in Jersey. I really learned a lot from him. I said, hey, Dad, can you sign me up with Gabe to get another hour's batting coaching training? I'm like, cool, work out a deal. I got him mowing lawns, doing stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
On it.
That's right.
I'll pay for that. If that's what you want, I'll do that, you know. And as adults don't invest our money in coaching.
Right.
But I got a 12-year-old who's doing it because he wants to be playing high school baseball.
Right.
And you think about it, he's 12, so he's got 2 more years of junior high.
Yep.
So he's 2 more years to go. Get to varsity 3 more years. So he's got 3 years.
Yep.
So he's practicing right now every day.
Yes.
For something that's not going to happen for 3 years.
But that habit he's creating.
He's either going to make it.
Yeah.
You know, but I get more power to him, man, you know.
But listen, man, what those little habits though that he's creating, he's going to understand the gift of investing in himself. He's going to understand the importance of investing in himself. And one of the big difference between wealthy mentality and not so wealthy mentality was that they invest money for speed. They invest for the information to shrink the learning curve, baby. Right? I mean, that learning curve, man, doesn't, like your son, he's out there hitting more balls than, you know, somebody that's just going to be amazing when he stacks up how many balls he hits over the next 5 years.
It's funny you said that. I did the math one time.
That's nuts, man.
I think it's like 8,000 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you think about it, you're in a baseball game, right?
Yes.
Maybe get 3 at bats.
Yep. Yep.
So maybe 9 at bats in a game.
Yep. Maybe.
Time 1 game per week
Yes.
for whatever.
Yes.
How many swings at the bat do you get?
It's
And they
going.
compare that to doing 100 a day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of learned that from Kobe, right?
Yeah.
Be shooting
Yeah.
100 baskets.
Yeah.
Look at who's the guys that can't miss a basket?
Yeah. Curry, Steph Curry,
Yeah.
Michael
Steph
Jordan,
Curry,
1,000 shots. And,
I said, dude, you're not even there yet. You're still at 100. They're doing 1,000 a day. So
yeah.
one day,
Yeah.
maybe and Tiger Woods, he's out there. He probably hit 1,000 balls just hitting them
All the
But
time.
one of the things I try to emphasize with him, and this is what coaching. You can go to a seminar, you can go listen to the show, whatever. But if you don't apply what you learned in that thing, it's useless.
Yeah. Yes.
So when I say, hey, when you do go to the coach, ask them what can you bring home,
Yeah.
or if you learn a technique, take that technique in the batting cage or throwing the ball because I got a little bounce. I spent $120.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't spend $1,000.
Right.
That's right. Practice what you learned until the next time you get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then next time you meet with your coach, this is what I try to teach my coach. Here's what you're going to do this. And when we meet again, we'll talk about how it's in and we'll figure out what next you want to work on.
Right.
Right. And that's a key thing too. You hear all these, you go to these things.
Yep.
But you mentioned a good thing about getting the training. I have another mentor. I got a few mentors. I got to take a couple classes. He was off in a class. He says, his name, I don't know. Anyway, but he's one of my mentors for speech and speaking. Part of the book. He was in the book.
Okay.
And he offered a class for, I think it was like $1,500 or something like that. And if I got whatever. So it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't super crazy. But you know what he said to me? It says, I'm going to condense my 30 years of speaking engagements and what it is in 6 classes over 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I go, so I can spend $1,500 and learn something that took 30 years to gain.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. That's what I'm talking about, shrinking decade, time and decades, man.
That's why I wanted to bring that up because you mentioned that. And I'm thinking, even if it was terrible, or it wasn't what it wasn't, it was pretty good. I learned a lot. I learned some things. I'm like, darn, that's a good plan, and how he did it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about selling from the state, he just did the whole thing. But 30 years and 6 weeks for only $1,500. Do you know how much money you would spend over 30 years of your life to gain what he's got?
Yeah. And not only spend, but lose because you weren't prepared when the opportunities came along.
Yes.
So you spend it and you lose. And so the investment, the self-investment is just so important. And you're teaching this and you talk about, taking notes and you talk about applying things and your son, his stuff's going to be ingrained in his fibers, right? I mean, all that stuff will be automatic, the things that you do. And so I like what you're talking about, man. You're talking about celebrating victories and so now, right now you're here and you're wanting to scale businesses, right? Because I wanted to get your spin on that before we start wrapping up, because people are doing well and they're ready to scale. What's one thing that you tell your folks as they're getting ready to make that transition? Because scaling sounds like a great idea until you start. And if you
I got a couple new thoughts that came to my head on scaling. I was listening, Alec. If you read I got all these books back here, so I read and listen podcasts all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I'm walking the dog, I'm listening to a podcast.
Even
when I'm
always
down,
doing it, baby. That net time, no extra time. You take advantage of it. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I don't listen to music as much as I used to as a kid because I'm like, well, it doesn't add any value to me.
Value time, baby.
But so scaling, a couple things I always mention. I always teach people to make it simple, and this is why I like Scrum. People complain about it's not coming. No, that's the purpose of why Scrum is scalable, because it's simple.
Yeah.
And I heard someone talk about it the other day. You got to simplify. If you want to scale something, it has to be simple.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, they talk about, Amazon. They talked about all these people. It had to become simple. They were talking about from Apple, and they had to simplify stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
there's two things I always talk about. One, I learned this. If you're not willing to give it to somebody else, you can't scale it.
Yeah. Amen.
And the way you do that is you document your process.
Absolutely.
You might have to invest your time to document what's in your brain
Yep.
into paper that's repeatable by somebody else.
Yes. Anybody else.
And you have to have patience.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be you.
Right. Right.
And I got yelled at. I went to a psychological training for executive training. When I did it, my wife was there. She's laughing. I'm teasing me. He says, your ego's in your way. And they just screamed into my head, and she's just like, whoa. But it's the ego.
Yes.
That they have to do what you do.
Right.
If you have that attitude, don't scale. You're not going to scale.
Right.
Stay where you're at.
Drive you crazy, man, because they can't do it like you want it done.
And how long did it take you to get to where you were? 30 years.
Yeah, come on, right? Man. Yeah.
So when they're gonna to get where you are, it's going to be another 30 years, right? They can't get it within the gray matter. So you simplify your processes, and this is where IT. This is what I do with all my Agile stuff, and why I help small businesses. I can help them simplify the process. I've done it. Did it with the Navy department. Documented their whole retrograde system for the Navy aviation. Went all around the world doing that. And making it simple, and then fixing some things that are bottlenecks.
Right. That's right.
Right. And sometimes the bottlenecks is you.
Yeah. Or a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Especially when you've got a small business, you want to open another shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
give you a story, real quick one. Friend of a friend had a pizza shop in California.
Mm-hmm.
What he would do would open a second pizza shop and a third, but he would hire the manager who would run that pizza shop and just take his 10% cut.
Yeah. Wow.
He wasn't making full salary as another pizza shop manager. It wasn't pizza. It was a mom and pop shop. But it wasn't that. But he got his percentage. But he got more money for what he was doing in the day.
Yeah.
But he wasn't running it. But he would hire the people to run it for him.
Right.
And he would hire another person to work with him as a future manager and put them in the next shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was transferring how he managed the business to each one. So he scaled his business to multiple businesses without having to work in each business.
Yeah.
And he would go visit them, right?
Yeah.
That, but you don't run the shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not looking for you have to watch that too.
Yeah.
That you do not tear down the other people that are running the shop for you in front of their workers.
Oh man. Disciplining behind doors, baby. Praise in the public, discipline behind doors, man. I mean, that's just, and again, that shouldn't be a leader, right? You should remove yourself from that space. And when you're talking about that, and so I love the fact that, it's he had a plan. He worked. I was thinking Ray Kroc while I was listening to you. Simplify. I believe McDonald's will have the first robots in public besides Amazon. I mean, Ray
as an IT person or a kiosk drive me nuts.
I only go get a tea there sometimes, and I refuse to use the kiosk. If I'm paying for it, you're going to take my money. But anyway, I'm old fashioned. But
that won't last long. I mean, I don't be a person there anymore.
Yeah.
I gave up on that.
I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. I still don't do self checkout unless I'm absolutely in a jam and in a hurry. But anyway, so listen, man. Boy, this has been good. We're already at almost time to say goodbye here in a few minutes. But it's been really great listening to you and talking about scaling and it's really some really powerful things here. Let me see if I have anything else that. So tell me about the experience writing the book. This is
This book.
yeah, the change. You know, I mean, I know the
So
process and the people that are around there. How was that for you, man?
I had on my goal sheet. I wish I knew where it was. I should have showed it to you. I have a vision board.
Mm-hmm.
On my vision board was write a book.
Yeah.
And the opportunity came up. It's not a whole book, it was a part of a book.
Yes.
I said, okay. It's not fully what I want,
Right.
but it gives me practice. It intros into the world of writing a book.
Yeah.
What does it take? How do you get it published? Who does it?
Right.
The whole logistics process. What do you use the book for, right?
Yes.
So it was cool because they gave a deadline. It was so many pages. I had to learn how to write how many words in my thing and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm writing my new book, and now it's like 15,000 words a week I gotta write. It's like crazy.
That's big.
You know, and I was only 3,000. I'm doing 15. You know, every week I'm doing what I wrote for my whole section. So writing it was wild, and writing my thoughts down and the whole process and reflecting what you did as a person, which I recommend to anybody because we all have life lessons.
Yes.
That could help other people.
That's right.
I mean, I originally did it with the that's why I did the Scrum, the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I just wanted to share my life lessons. And I got to share this one story. If we got time. You got time for one more story?
Yeah, man. Come on.
Okay. So my father said to me one day before he died, he passed this past May, just a little while ago. While a year or two before, he says to me one time when he was getting older, and he was a professional, he said, you know what's a shame? When you die, everything you learned and know goes with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is an opportunity to put what you learned and did in paper that will live past your lifetime.
Yeah.
That's why I like YouTube. YouTube lives forever.
Yeah,
it's not like all the other social media. I said, I still love my YouTube because it says they just leave it there because it's all content to them. If someone has an interest, as long as they have it set up that thing. But writing that book, sharing what you learned over your time, will live past you. I think Alex Hormozy says the same thing. It's like I want to write a book that's going to outlive my lifetime.
Outlive our lifetime, and like you're saying, YouTube for our kids and our grandkids and our grandkids' kids can go in there and say, hey, Pop is here, and hey, Dad was here, right? And doing those things, man. So I love that. To be able
if you have your own business, sharing your knowledge of how you ran your business will bring business to your business.
Well, it's it.
You know, it will, because they're like, wow, that's person expert. They did all this stuff. Well, maybe they can have them help me or sell me this or do this, whatever, you know, and again, it just documents your life and what you do. And that's why I want to show people how I did those 80 jobs, how I went from looking for money in the street, repositioned myself, got my education. It's all laid out in my next book coming up.
How
do you use coaching? How do I use people like you, Geoff, to help me grow to the next level?
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir.
So it's all instant. So I just wanted to share. I'm just sharing in that next book coming up. And this book has small segments. The beauty about this book, there's about 20 other people in this book. So if you get bored from me, there's other people with different things in their lifetime. I actually highlighted, got quotes from all of them. I use AI to help me develop this, and I use voice. I highlight in the book, and then I read it to my computer, and it voice writes my quotes.
I love it.
Take all those quotes, load it into a database that I can later use in a book, later use in a social media post, later use for my business, later for coaches, whatever. You know? So talk about the AI. If you're not doing that, if you want to learn about that stuff, contact me. You know, Gem Philly or 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me. I'm always willing to connect with people. By the end of the year, I should have 20,000 connections in LinkedIn. You know, I have goals. Right. You know, little by little, you know.
That's it. That's it. The little victories, celebrate the little victories. It's always about stacking those things on. And I love that, you mentioned AI, and I'll just add to what he's saying. Listen, what he just shared with you on how to use AI, if you weren't listening, go back and listen to that again. I mean, that's the mentality. That's the magic in that system. Just simple what he said about voice acting. Just go back and listen to it. He said a lot of things that we should hear one more time. So, Greg, listen, man, one more time, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can find, if you were to Google or search Greg Mester, you'll find me. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, you'll find me. Gem at Gem Philly or at 5 a.m. Mester Scrum in Instagram. I'm in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter or X, LinkedIn, YouTube. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
So you can find me. Feel free to connect with my business. I'm always open to meet, connect, just message me. I'm happy to talk.
Yeah.
I have a website. Idea Communication Networks is my company. It's ideacom2mnets.com, but that's because it's an old thing.
Yeah.
And I've had it for 20 some odd years.
Gotcha. I understand.
26 years. 26 years now, that company name. And it's funny, Idea Communication Networks. I'm like, boy, that resonates more now than it ever did.
Yeah.
Communicating ideas to a network of people.
Yes. Yes. And connection is all
bigger now.
Yeah.
Network's a lot bigger than it was when I first started it, but it is there.
It is.
Yeah, just search me on LinkedIn, Greg Mester.
Yeah.
You'll find me.
Okay.
It's there. I'm happy to help anybody who wants help. Talk 15 minutes. Do an interview if you want to. I'll interview on my show. You got a business? I'll do an interview for my show. We're live right now on my show too, my listeners.
Yes.
And help promote you. I have no problem. I actually got another thing coming on in the fall.
Nice.
But yeah, it doesn't stop. It's fun.
Well, and your connection is the new currency, and there's no excuse for not being able to. And we can reach all over the world, and so a lot of great things have come from the COVID pivot. So listen, man, what one thing can you say after what we've talked that you want to leave the audience with? And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your energy and your humility and just the energy that you brought to the show. But what's one thing that you like to say before we get out of here?
In my chapter in The Change, turning no's into yeses. You're going to hear no's your entire life. It's your job to turn them into yeses. You're talking to a guy who sold perfume door to door when I was in my 20s. I had a lot of no's, but I got a yes every once in a while. I sold that perfume bottle. So anyway, so you can do it. Like, why are you reading?
Yeah.
To get to the next level. Why are you taking a class? Because I'm going to own it. It's mine.
Yeah.
Why are you spending your own money to take? Why aren't you waiting for your company to pay you?
Yeah.
It opens doors, maybe not now, but the future.
Right.
So the next time you put your resume in, you have that cert, you have that training, you have that little bit of experience that you didn't have while you're working the job you had.
Right.
I mean, if I could tell stories all day, but turn those no's into yeses. Find out how you can. Someone told you no, like I was told no. You're not famous enough.
Yeah.
How can I turn the next person I meet into a yes?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
And
that's how I got in here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about the no.
That door opened up this door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it opened up that door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the one thing. Turn those. If you hear no, think about it. How can I make that a yes?
That's right.
And maybe not be with this person, but the next person I meet along the path.
That's right. That's right. Be persistent in the pursuit of the yes, is what I'm hearing you say. And understand that no doesn't mean anything. It's just not now. Right. And so I love that, man. So listen, gotta run. This has been great. I really appreciate your time and your information and a lot of golden nuggets in here. So thank you, my friend. And we'll see you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. Talk to you later, buddy.
Take care, man.
See you. Hey, well, listen, I mean, man, as always, I encourage you to share this information, set up the notification bell, and then go back and listen. Go back and listen to this. There was a lot of stuff in here. Just little, I mean, he was dropping breadcrumbs, baby. You got, Allison, what was that little cartoon where she goes out and leaves the college and then she drops the breadcrumbs so she can get back? Man, he talked about the winning, celebrating victories. He talked about scaling. If you don't, and you can't let things go. People talk about, I want to grow my business and scale, but if you can't let things go and other people can't do things better than you, then you shouldn't be scaling. Woo! Man, just so many different things. And most importantly, the humility demonstrated, right? That's a lot of life lessons there, baby. So I want to thank everybody for their support today. Make sure you go back and listen to this. Reach out to Greg. I mean, telling you, when I reached out to him, I didn't know him. And man, it was a referral, and it just was click, and we've been talking ever since then. The man is the real deal. And listen, he's available. You better get him now while you can. Go out there and get the book. He said, I think there's something where you can get the book for free. And I know other authors that are on that book. That's a powerful book, right? The whole thing around change and Les Brown. So go out there and get that. It's free. No excuse for that. And as always, I made a note here before I go, and it's let me see if I can find it. Let me see where it is. Our young man, Trent Sheldon, says a lot of things, and one of the things he reminded me of the other day was he said, remember when everything is all quiet, everything, these 5 words, it all starts with you. So the conversation you're having with yourself starts with you. The changing of the conversation, disrupting that, all starts with you. Reaching out to folks like Greg and getting no's and getting until you get yeses, it all starts with you. What you feed in your mind will grow in your soul. So what are you feeding yourself? Right? Will you plant flowers or will you plant weeds? Ooh-wee. Hey, got to run. Hit me up. We got some great things coming. Oh, man, be on the lookout for a summit that we're promoting in for the middle of August, right? Going from heartbreak to healing, finding extraordinary love through the guidance of professional experts. So, man, listen, have a fantastic day. Reach out to Greg. Pass this information along. And remember, don't let the stinking thinking stop you from reaching your destiny. Don't let nothing stop you from reaching your destiny. You shall not be denied. See you on the next episode. Take care.